Hey, this is me, your girl. I'm that chick, Linda. Nobody's telling me what to do, so I'm highly unqualified. I basically don't know what I'm doing. Hi, I'm Linda Nyangwesa. Welcome back to another episode of Highly Unqualified. Today we're back in my house again, and I'm trying to drink healthy shit. Okay, so I told myself 2018 is a year of like bettering myself, you know? Hashtag, what is it? Hashtag everyone uses? Self-care. Hashtag self-care. So it's grosser than it tastes. Does that make sense? No, it looks grosser than it tastes. It's like a bunch of everything. And the guys in the room are really disgusted by it because it's spinach and fruits and beets. It's not that bad. It tastes good. But, you know, sometimes all I want is pizza and wine. 2018 is going to be so hard. Anyway, the other thing I wanted to talk about this year, so I was having a conversation with a few girls of mine, and we realized that when it comes to like marriage and relationships and what's going on with your life, we always have this culture of like in Kenya where like people ask, oh, how are you? It's fine. Oh, we're fine. How's your husband? Oh, we're fine. How's everything? Great. But really you're not. I mean, I have a couple friends, like 5 of them, who got divorced, and it was genuinely a shocker because they were fine. Every time you asked, they were fine. So I wanted to be like, this year, don't be fine. If you're not fine, don't be fine. I know it's March and it's a little too late to make a resolution, so don't make it a resolution. Just make it an everyday thing where if you're not fine, say it. Now, don't be that guy who stopped by the Ascari to be asked, how are you? And you're like, oh, everything's falling apart. Don't be that guy. But I just mean, if people who are genuinely asking you if you're okay and you're not, say something. Also, the other thing I want to talk about is premarital counseling. That was so fake. Like, don't get me wrong. I think everyone should do premarital counseling. It's worth it. It's nice to kind of get it out of the way that it's not going to be like a dreamboat honeymoon type thing and marriage is work and all that. But I feel like it was fake. All they tell you about is how you're going to argue about, you know, he puts the toilet paper wrong. He sleeps on my side of the bed. He doesn't change the light bulbs when I ask. But that's not even what marriage is. I feel like it'd be more important to have post-marital counseling, like a checkup. So my husband and I do this thing where we go for counseling once every like 3 months. It's like an appraisal. And it's even when things are okay, we do it. But I decided that for me, I'm not bashing the church, but for me personally, I can't do the whole church counseling all the time. I need a professional because there's nothing worse than saying your problems to someone and knowing that like your feelings should be validated and all they tell you is like, just pray about it, you know? They quote scripture and you leave there feeling like, what the hell was that? So I'm about that professional help. I think mental health is something that we don't take serious enough. And if you're really not fine, talk to somebody. If your relationship feels like it's falling apart, talk to somebody because there's nothing better than having a third person who is not invested in your relationship, in your well-being, in your life, and is just going to call you out on your bullshit and tell you, here's what you need to fix. I'm sorry. That's, for me, more important than premarital counseling, which, I don't know. It set me up for failure. And then also expectations. When it comes to relationship, manage your damn expectations. I was this person who thought my husband would read what's in my head just by looking at me, like he would know. And I'm a romantic. On the other hand, my husband is like the most practical person ever. As in fact, there was a lamp there. We had to take this lamp back here. He got it for me, for my first anniversary with him when we were dating. And I had originally asked for jewelry. When I asked him why, he said, your house seemed dark. The hell is that? But that's the kind of person he is. He's super practical. I do the thing where I'm like, I get vacations. I do, you know, the chocolate delivered to his office. You know, he's like, you needed your elect bill paid, so I paid it. That's his gift to me. So I had to learn to manage my expectations. So, and then if I have expectations, I say them out loud. And then we bargain. Like, seriously, it's like a hostage negotiation when it comes to a relationship. You got to decide the things you can and cannot do. So my husband has this thing that most Kenyan men have, that at the top of their list, they expect homemade meals with love every night, even though we come home at the same time from a job that took me the same amount of time and I'm tired. And then you still expect me to make you like bolognese. at like 9 p.m. on a Wednesday. It's not gonna happen. So those were one of the things I had to be like, okay, we'll do this thing where at least three times of the week, I will cook. But don't expect me to be like making gourmet meals every single day. For me, I had to manage the fact that my husband is not gonna show up on a white horse, you know, quote Shakespeare on his knees. A girl can dream. But that's not marriage. The other thing is, you have to realize marriage is about seasons. This is something I wish I was told more before I got married. It's never going to be perfect at all times. There's always going to be, you know, like the romantic one where you just want to sit next to each other and you touch each other's shoulders and it's electricity. And then there's going to be the one where literally you're sleeping in the same bed because technically you have to, but I don't want you near me. Do you know? Where you have the great wall of pillows. Every married woman knows that one, where he touches you and you're like, but that's part of it. I think marriage is about seasons. And there's this past weekend I went to this group setting where it was a bunch of couples and we were talking about, like, you know, what happened after we did the wedding, right? And if there's one thing I learned is sometimes perform marriage, if that's what it gets up to. And I mean this by, like, if you guys told each other you would do date night every week, which is not practical. People say every week. It is tiring as fuck trying to find a weekday. Anyway, if that's your thing, do it. But if you're gonna do date night, and even if you're mad at each other and you said we're gonna do date night on Thursday, whether or not something happened, go. Sit there and talk about the weather and have more of a conversation with the waiter if you have to, but perform it, because sooner or later it's gonna get more natural and it is gonna get easier. If you told yourself every 3 months you're gonna take a vacation, a weekend away, do it. Because it's going to give you a chance to perform the marriage until it's no longer performance. It's like confidence. Fake it till you make it. Now that sounds like horrible advice when it comes to a relationship. I'm not saying fake it if you know your relationship is doomed. I'm just saying if you know you're with a good person and it's a good marriage and it's a good relationship and you're a good boyfriend, whatever, sometimes you just have to get over yourself and get over your pride and trying to be right and just kind of show up and just sit there. And silent treatment. So, I don't know. No one says it out loud, but silent treatment is like the best weapon against men. Like, they think we don't know. Oh, we know. And it's super easy. You can break a man down with silent treatment. But turns out it's a really bitchy thing to do. So I had to learn to stop. And I don't know. I can switch it on instantly. Like, I can just be like, oh, this nigga doesn't know for 3 months. All I'm going to say is, okay, okay, whatever. So I had to learn to stop that. Because the silent treatment is not healthy. It's the furthest thing from healthy. So now we do these really annoying things, and I'm learning to do them more. Communication skills. Where if your boyfriend says to you, you know, you're always just walking around thinking you can just go out all the time, and you're never home, and you never cook for me, and I expected dango every day. Then you've got to respond by like, okay, validate their feelings first. I understand that you wanted dango every day and that was part of the deal. However, I feel like, so that it's one of those like, I accept your feelings, they're valid, even though they're stupid because that's what you're thinking in your head. That's what I mean, fake it till you make it. Because at some point, it'll actually become like, okay, I understand what you're feeling, but this is how I feel. And then also, I'm the kind of person who attacks, okay? I start, you never do this, you never do that, you know, why aren't you like so-and-so? So I had to learn instead to be like, when you do this, it makes me feel this way. Because it's calmer. And he gets the point more. Because men don't get the point if you're shouting, which is ridiculous, because I feel like, how do you not get the point? I'm screaming at the top of my lungs. So, men are hard. They say that women are difficult, but like, there's so many rules to being with a man. It's tiring. So that's why we drink wine or fake ass smoothies. Thanks again. Don't forget to subscribe. See you again on another episode of Highly Unqualified.